bombard the heart, and it will basically crack the cover on the heart, inshaAllah ta'ala. Istighfar, lots of istighfar, seeking forgiveness. I'm telling you, seeking forgiveness would not just sort out your heart, it will sort out everything in your life. You're feeling sad, it will get rid of the sadness. You're struggling with other problems, it will get rid of them with Allah's permission. Istighfar will sort out your whole life, my dear sisters. I remember some amazing incident that I came across recently. Was a sheikh was mentioning how he was in a very wealthy businessman's house in the Emirates. So he asked him, how did you build this empire? So the businessman said, through dhikr. So the sheikh was like, this is the first time I've heard a person saying that they built their empire through dhikr. Normally they say, I worked really hard, it took many years. So the sheikh asked, he inquired, how did you do it? So he said, I used to be in a difficult situation, as in my financial situation was not the best. I had a lot of debt. Ask so-and-so. And there was a person in the gathering who knew him before he became rich. So the sheikh asked him, tell us your story then. So he said, one day I entered the masjid and the imam was mentioning the virtues of seeking forgiveness. And he mentioned how a person who does it, Allah Jalla will grant them openings and bless them with lots of provision from sources that they would have never imagined. So he said, this is the first time I heard all of this. And he quoted verses as well where Nuh alayhi salam is telling his nation to seek forgiveness from Allah. Istaghfiru rabbakum innahu kana ghaffara. He is the most forgiving. Yursilis samaa alaykum midrara. Allah Jalla wa ala will send you a cloud, will send upon you a cloud pouring down abundant rain, and He will help you with wealth, give you lots of wealth and progeny. So he said, it's the first time I heard it. So he said, I started to do it all the time. When I'm in the car, when I'm walking, when I'm at home, my wife, my family think maybe this guy's possessed. 24/7, this guy's just doing istighfar. Astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. SubhanaAllah, alhamdulillah, he's doing dhikr and he's doing istighfar. So he said, within a very short space of time, my affairs started to fix up at some amazing speed. He said, in fact, one time, and he mentioned that he has mentioned that a guy knocked on his door. So he opened the door. He said, are you so and so? He said, yeah. So he said, here, this is a package for you. So the businessman asked, at that time he wasn't a businessman. He said, who is it from? He said, the person doesn't want to mention his name, but this is for you. So he said, so I took it, and I didn't know, I was expecting it's probably paperwork. I opened it up, and there was 100,000 inside. So I paid off all of my debts. And then he said, I continued doing istighfar. He said, then it's like I became a target. Money's chasing me from every direction. I entered into a business transaction and it was very successful, and I'm in the situation that you see right now. So the Sheikh asked him, what about now? How's your situation? He said, right now I don't leave istighfar or dhikr at all. Look at that, my dear sisters. The guy was poor, and look how he changed. Look how Allah Ta'ala changed his situation. This is something that I've personally experienced firsthand, and I'm sure you will too if you follow this direction, inshaAllah ta'ala, and you follow these instructions. That was one. Another example as well, and this is probably one of the last ones that we'll mention. A sheikh in Medina, a guy came to him. So the guy said that I can't have kids. I got myself checked out the hospital, and I had some tests, and they said you can't have children. Every time I get married, the lady requests a divorce, so I have to give it to her because I can't grant her children. I can't give her children. So he asked the sheikh, can you advise me of anything? Do you recommend anything? The sheikh said, yeah, istighfar. He said, how many? He said, lots of istighfar. 100. He said, no, more than that. The sheikh said, more. 1,000. The sheikh said, more. 2,000. The sheikh said, no. I said, more than that. 3,000. Said, more. Do it all the time. A few months later, the guy invited the sheikh to his wedding. He got himself checked up in the hospital. He can have children now. Look at that, brothers and sisters. In a short space of time, istighfar will open a door when there was no door that was there. It will make a door for you. It will grant you the most amazing openings, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Istighfar, I'm telling you, is mind-blowing. And you need to do it, and you do it from today, inshaAllah ta'ala. And from the types of istighfar that I want to recommend that you start from today is the dua of Yunus. La ilaha illa anta subhanak inni kuntu min al-zalimin. La ilaha illa anta subhanak inni kuntu min al-zalimin. that there is none worthy of worship besides you. You're free from all types of imperfections. I was from the wrongdoers. There is none worthy of worship besides you. You're free from all types of imperfections, and you are the epitome, and I was one of the wrongdoers. This dua, number one, the Prophet ﷺ says, no Muslim recites this dua concerning any matter, but Allah will answer him. That's the first thing. So your dua will be accepted, although you're reciting this dua. Number two, it's a form of forgiveness. Number three, if you're in a state of distress, like Yunus alayhi salam, Allah will grant you an opening. That's why when this is mentioned in Surah Al-Anbiya in the Quran, this dua, Allah says, so we answered Yunus and we saved him from the state of distress. And likewise, we'll rescue the believers. Meaning, if you read this as well, he'll rescue you too. With that said, my dear and sisters, follow that piece of advice. You want your heart to be pure. You want it to really taste the sweetness of ibadah. Make tawbah, number one. Number two, calm down when it comes to food, speaking and typing. Number three, perform a quality prayer and start reciting the Quran. And number four, istighfar, istighfar, istighfar. Barakallah.